You probably think avoiding self-pleasure in old age is harmless. Maybe you believe it's something only the young care about, or that your body doesn't need it anymore. But let me ask you this. What if ignoring it is silently damaging your health, your happiness, and even your future? Today, I'm going to share exactly what happens if you stop and why this simple act is far more important for the elderly than most people realize. As we grow older, many of us accept decline as natural. We tell ourselves weakness, low energy, and loss of desire are just part of aging. But here's the truth. Your body doesn't stop needing care just because the years are passing. And one of the most ignored forms of self-care is self-pleasure. Not for fun, not for shame, but for health. Let's dive in. First, let's talk about circulation. Think of your body like a river. As long as the water keeps moving, it stays clean and alive. But if the river stops flowing, what happens? It becomes stagnant, dirty, and unhealthy. That's exactly what happens to your blood flow when intimacy is neglected. Self-pleasure keeps oxygen-rich blood moving through your most sensitive areas. Without it, stiffness sets in, tissues weaken, and blood vessels lose flexibility. This is why so many older men struggle with erectile dysfunction, not because their bodies can't function, but because they've stopped maintaining them. Just like an unused machine rusts, your body does too. Second, hormones. This is where things get even more surprising. When you release, your body produces a surge of testosterone and dopamine. Testosterone isn't only about desire. It fuels your strength, supports bone density, sharpens your focus, and keeps you confident. Dopamine, on the other hand, is a happiness chemical. It lifts your mood, fights depression, and motivates you to keep moving forward in life. When you stop completely, both of these drop. Slowly but surely, fatigue creeps in, sadness lingers longer, and your mind begins to feel dull. You don't feel like yourself anymore. The tragedy is, so many elderly men blame old age when in reality, their body is simply starving for its natural boosts. Third, prostate health. This is one area where science is crystal clear. The prostate acts like a filter, and when you never release, harmful fluids can build up. Over time, this increases the risk of swelling, discomfort, and even cancer. Now imagine this. One small, private act that takes only a few minutes could be the difference between a healthy prostate and years of painful medical issues. Which choice would you rather make? Ignore it and suffer, or take action to protect yourself? Fourth, mental health. We often forget how much our minds depend on intimacy. That simple release triggers endorphins, the natural painkillers and relaxers of the human body. These chemicals calm your nerves, reduce stress, and help you sleep like a baby. Without it, tension piles up, anxiety grows, and sleep becomes shallow and restless. And poor sleep? It accelerates aging, weakens memory, and leaves you feeling drained every single day. Just think about how powerful that connection is. Something so small controlling how deeply you rest, how sharp you think, and how much peace you feel. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine two men, both 70 years old. The first man says, "I'm too old for that. It's childish." So he gives it up completely. Over the years, his circulation weakens, he develops prostate problems, and his mood sinks into constant fatigue. He feels lonely, older than his age, and powerless to stop it. The second man, however, understands his body still needs care. He keeps self-pleasure as part of his routine, not for fun, not for shame, but for health. He maintains his blood flow, keeps his hormones balanced, protects his prostate, and sleeps peacefully at night. Now tell me, which of these two men would you rather be? Some of you may still feel embarrassed, thinking, but isn't it wrong to do this at 70? Let me challenge that thought. What's wrong is neglecting your body. What's wrong is believing myths that rob you of your health. What's wrong is thinking you don't deserve intimacy or care just because you've aged. Self-pleasure is not shameful, it's medicine. A natural, safe, free medicine with no side effects. Why would you ever deny yourself that? Here's another way to look at it. If a doctor gave you a pill that could improve circulation, protect your prostate, boost your hormones, fight depression, reduce stress, and help you sleep, would you take it? Of course you would. Well, that pill already exists, but it's not in a bottle. It's built into your body, and it's waiting for you to use it. So here's the bottom line. Aging doesn't mean giving up. It doesn't mean surrendering your strength, your confidence, or your happiness. It simply means you need to care for your body differently, and self-pleasure is one of the most overlooked ways to do that. If you completely avoid it, you risk faster aging, weaker health, and a life of unnecessary struggles. But if you embrace it, you give yourself the gift of youth, vitality, and peace of mind, even in your golden years. So my advice is simple. Don't ignore this part of your life. Don't let shame or outdated beliefs steal the best years you still have left. Treat self-pleasure not as a secret, but as self-care. Respect your body. Respect your health. And remember, you're never too old to take care of yourself.